The FinScope Consumer Gambia 2025 survey follows the 2019 diagnostic, helping the government and central bank evaluate the 2019 to 2025 National Financial Inclusion Strategy and develop the 2026 to 2030 round, conducted collaboratively across sectors. The $160 report was co-funded by AFI and the central bank with $60,000 each. The report developed alongside the Gambia Bureau of Statistics and development partners paints a picture of a rapidly digitalizing economy. Siakaba is the Director of Microfinance Supervision Department, Central Bank of the Gambia.
The FinScope survey is far more than a publication. It is a national mirror, one that reflects both the strides we have made and the responsibilities that still lie ahead. By offering a demand-side perspective, it reveals how individuals and households save, borrow, send and receive money, embrace digital services, and navigate the financial system in their everyday lives.
The biggest takeaway: financial inclusion has reached an all-time high. In 2019, only 245,000 Gambian adults were formally included in the financial system. Today, that number has more than quadrupled to a staggering 1.22 million adults. This massive surge has caused overall financial exclusion across the country to plummet by 55% points. Ibrahim Suso, the Director of Social Demographics and Statistics at GBOS, underscored that the data gives the country a critical opportunity to assess its current economic realities, proving just how vital these surveys are in shaping national financial policy.
Through this survey, policymakers will gain valuable insights into who has access to financial services, who remains excluded, the barriers faced by different population groups, and how financial products and services can be designed to better meet the needs of Gambians across the country. The data generated will support evidence-based interventions in areas such as digital financial services, savings, credit access, insurance, remittances, entrepreneurship, youth empowerment, women's economic participation, and financial resilience.
Currently, 74% of Gambians actively use mobile money platforms. Even among citizens who do not hold a traditional brick-and-mortar bank account, a striking two-thirds are actively using mobile wallets to send, receive, and store funds. However, despite these historic gains, the report reveals that deep gaps remain. Nearly 14% of Gambian adults are still entirely excluded from the financial system, and over 43% must rely on a hybrid mix of formal services and informal village saving groups to survive. Experts point to one primary driver for this economic revolution: mobile money. Abel Motsumi is a senior data and analytics specialist.
17% of the adults are deemed financially healthy. The rest are just financially coping. Basically, in the classic literature, they say they are one paycheck away from doom. 22% are financially vulnerable. In as much as we have seen high levels of inclusion, it doesn't mean people are financially healthy. There's still some work to be done.
When asked why they remain unbanked, 52% of excluded adults stated they simply have no money to save, while 44% cited a lack of regular income. Furthermore, half of all unbanked Gambians are self-employed or worked in the local farming and fishing sectors, underscoring a critical need for financial products designed specifically for small entrepreneurs.
In terms of having this financial inclusion, 82%, and the remaining 18%, I promise you, by 2030, towards the end of my tenure as second tenure as governor of the central bank, we will get that 18% into the fold. The other benefit of this 82% of financial inclusion is going to contribute towards the increase in economic activity, and then thereby helping us achieve our target. We in the central bank are projecting to attain economic growth to accelerate from 7 to 8%. Currently, we were we are around.
Bua Sedi, the governor of the Central Bank of the Gambia, emphasized that while the progress is historic, the data must now be used to bridge the remaining divides.
These numbers reflect the livelihood of individuals across the country. They provide insight into the socio-economic development of Gambians. For instance, the farmer in rural Basse who can now save securely for the next planting season will no longer worry about how, when, and where to keep his money. The young entrepreneur in Kanifing who accesses credit through her business will no longer worry about sources of finance. The mother in Brikama who receives remittances from abroad to pay for her children's education will no longer worry about having to travel to collect such transfers.
Saving habits across the nation also remain heavily short-term. While 72% of adults do save, their money is overwhelmingly funneled into immediate survival needs. 60% save strictly for daily living expenses, while over 40% save to buffer against medical and family emergencies. Long-term wealth creation remains rare, compounded by the fact that 35% of adults exhibit low financial literacy. To sustain this momentum, the report outlines urgent recommendations. For the public sector, the priority is clear: build a universal digital ID system, expand credit bureaus, and roll out a national financial education strategy. For the private sector, commercial banks and fintech firms are urged to design flexible, low-barrier products tailored for rural women and informal businesses, backed by aggressive cybersecurity to prevent mobile fraud.
All we ask of you is to take the time to use the data.
The central bank notes that this 2025 report will serve as the primary blueprint for the nation's upcoming national financial inclusion strategy running through 2030. Mariam